Hello, this is Lani with Broken SeaShell Stamping, and today I just wanted to do a little project. So I've been sick, so please excuse my voice, but I love making bookmarks. So whenever I get a new book, the first thing I want to do is make a bookmark based off the cover. So today I'm going to do that with this new one. I haven't even started it yet. It's called Under Loch and Key. But it sounded such a cute book. So I'm going to go ahead and make a bookmark to go with that. So I've already pre-cut out. I wanted to use a white base because if you look at and this is how I get inspiration from the book, is I look at the book first. So I want to do the white for the background, even though it's kind of colored. So I'm going to age it because it's brighter here in the middle. And then has a shading around the edge of it to make this mountain range. Then I went ahead and I used the dies from, and I had the stamps in my here, The Greatest Journey. It's a retired set, but it has this mountain range on here. So I used these to cut them out. I just pre-cut those out. So that was cut these here. So that was my little mountain ranges that are gonna go down to a peak here in the middle with the, now we're only doing a small section, so it doesn't have to go very far, but I'll use the darker ones because that matches the mountains and then the lighter ones. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this put together and show you how I do that. There's some more. So the colors I use, I just looked at the book, and this one here is Pretty Peacock, is what I got the closest to it. Pretty Peacock. And this is an older one. It's called Just Jade, but I was going to use Lost Lagoon, but I had some extra of this one. So we're going to use the Just Jade, and that really matched that light color back there. Although it would have worked probably with the lighter Pretty Peacock, but I don't have that. So there's those two. And then for the pink, I use Flirty Flamingo because it's pretty close to that fluorescent pink color of her. I love how her boots look. So those are the colors. And we're going to put that together, and I will hopefully make it as quick as possible. And that way you can make a quick bookmark for whatever book you're reading. All right, so I put the book aside. If you want to see that again, I'll bring it back out. We're going to just go ahead and start trimming these down. So this is just kind of a little fun thing here. My kids love those mini brands, and so I've been getting one because they have a book series, and I got this book, and when you open it, it's got a magnifying glass tucked into it. So I thought that was pretty clever. And it came with a bookmark as well, but that was not for Sherlock Holmes. It was for The Secret Garden. And I was like, I might have to make a little mini bookmark to go with my little mini brands. But anyway, I thought it was just kind of neat that it came with this little kit. And it reminded me of our belly bands on the cards that we have. So I'm into books, so I always love reading, but this way I get some more. So I didn't have any stamp sets that really worked well. So the girl, I don't have a guy, and for the girl, I'm going to use the In the Moment, and I'm going to use the girl with the cup of wine. Now, the character on the cover does not have a drink. Not that she doesn't necessarily drink in the story. I don't know. We'll find out. But I wanted to do something that was a person because there is a person on the book. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one, and I'll just leave the wine glass. But I'll probably color it in Flirty Flamingo so it matches. Now, if you can't do Under the Loch and Key without using Secret Sea or something, in my opinion, it's got to be Secret Sea. So I'm going to use Secret Sea for the, it doesn't matter if it's crooked or not because I'm going to cut it out. So I'm using Secret Sea for her line art. And I probably will bring the book back out so you can see the color choice that I decide to, well, so I can look at it to see what colors I want to color her to match the book. Although I am planning on keeping the same scheme This is what I didn't prep early, although her sweatshirt is really more of a garden green. So I'm gonna get out, let's see, is this garden? Yeah, get out garden green. Let's see, I don't think I have Flirty Flamingo. Let me get my colors out. I will be right back. All right, so I did not know this, but I don't have a pen or a blend of Flirty Flamingo. So I'm going to use the stamp pad and a blender pen, or is that what it's called? Yeah, blender pen. And then I got garden green, and I got out, because the color is a little darker than the Peacock back here, so I got not quite navy, because that's the pen that I have available. So that's the colors I'm going to use. Let's put her back in view. Now she's got some pretty cool looking red hair. So I'm going to use ruby red for that one to go with her. I'm just going to make her, well, I guess I could make her hat green or dark blue. I'm not sure what color I want to do her hat yet, because she's not wearing a hat, obviously. But let's do the color of her hair. Oh yeah, that worked good. And that was, yeah, ruby red. So if you have this book, or you see this book, and you want to make this bookmark, that's what we're going to do. I think I want to do Flirty Flamingo for her hat, because I love the text. So let's do Flirty Flamingo and blender pen. And we'll just color that here. This story just sounded so fun. And I did do her belt here to make sure my blender pen had ink in it. Do a little bit more shading here. All right. So there's the Flirty Flamingo. All right, green top. And that's a garden green. A blender pen here. Unfortunately, these have been discontinued, but I really like these markers. But I do really love using blends too, so now I'm just gonna have to get my stock replenished with some new colors. Let's get that a little bit darker over here. It will lighten up a little bit. Okay, and now we've got not quite navy for her little skirt, because I don't, you know, it's just a representation, and it's fun. It doesn't have to look exactly like the book, because it's just a bookmark and it's just fun. Now I have Copics, so I'm going to use E02, which is fruit pink, for her skin tone. A little darker than I wanted it, but it'll work. Okay, so there's my little lady. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward as I fussy cut this out. So I'm going to be right back. Okay, we're back. So I did a little bit more tedious here with that part, just because I decided to. You don't have to, you can leave that white space there. Oh, and I was going to get out my colors. I think I'll probably use Petal Pink, because it's kind of really subtle. And if I don't like it, we'll use something else. But I definitely don't want it strong. So I'm just kind of go around here. Now, one thing about bookmarks is well, for me anyway, I like to know which one is the top, like which page I'm on. So I'll usually make one more decorative. Let's see here. I love blending. Of course, I left a few marks there, but it's okay. It's gonna, most of it's gonna be covered up. So that was Petal Pink. Okay, I'm really thinking about just stamping, but I really wanted to use this mountain range. Well, let's just put it down and figure out how we're gonna do it. I liked that one, so what I'm gonna do is cut it. Okay, now, so a little bit change decisions and not sure what I'm doing, but that's kind of what I was starting with this. Like, I just sit down and I just kind of play. I'm just having a good time. Now, I mix these two together. This is Ocean Front, and the die cuts are, I don't have them in here, but I'm going to use the water for the water, and I'm going to use some of the rocks, and I forgot to get the color out for the rocks, so that looks more like a pecan pie. Let's see here. Oh, copper clay. Copper clay looks really good. I'm going to use copper clay. And then the green is very much like Granny Apple green. I do not have any Granny Apple, and I cannot find my Parakeet Party, which I like to use for a lot of this. So let me double check over here. I usually stashed it somewhere else. Ah, found it. I was missing this one for a few days. So Parakeet Party works really good with that bright Flirty Flamingo. So that I might have to stamp something else and then die cut out. I don't know. Or what I'll do is on the back side, where we'll have not very much inking or cardstock or anything, I'll do the bushes on the back. Or not the bushes, but the little lake weeds. All right, so I'm going to use this ocean one, and it's more pretty peacock, but I think I'm going to see what Lost Lagoon looks like. So I'm just playing. You know, this is what's fun about the bookmarks, is being able to create something that's not a card, and then you get to enjoy it personally, and it's a great gift. So I love to gift a book with a bookmark created that matches the book. And it can be used for other books. It doesn't have to be. This is my scratch piece, so let's see how this Lost Lagoon looks. Ah, that is perfect. And if you notice here, he's got this little shadow, so I'm going to put pretty peacock, just a marker for that. So that looks pretty. I like that. That's perfect. Lost Lagoon is the winner. So let's put that. So yeah, I wanted to have the middle section is the mountains. The top portion is going to be the girl. Maybe I should look at her character, what her name is. So she's going to be kind of up there. This stuff's going to be there. So let's put it right here. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's check this girl's name out. Let's just, rather than call her girl, Kiana or Key McKay. So let's call her Key. And what's his name? Lachlan. There you go. All right, Key and Lachlan. All right, let's get them a little bit more water. on the bottom. Like that now. So I'll go this direction and just create a little wave in there. Alrighty. Okay. All right. Here's some pretty peacock. And I'm just gonna, that's kind of, because if you notice, I think he's supposed to turn into a Loch Ness monster. Like that's his hidden secret, I think is what it was. So I'm gonna kind of do like a shadow of a monster, the Loch Ness monster, even though it's not, he's not going to be on the bookmark. But yeah, the description says he has his own secrets to keep. So that's my guess, because that's the way that shadow looks. But anyway, okay, so now we've got our, do I want to put the rocks? Yes, let's do a really dark rock. All right, Key, get over there. Got our boulders. Now I'm going to test it here to see how dark it is over this. Oh, that will be perfect. Alrighty, we're going to put that right here next to his shadow. Oh, I love it. I love it. Now it really needs some of the grass. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp it, even though it might get covered up. And then I'm going to stamp it on some scratch and either find my die cuts or fussy cut it out. So let's get this grass here. Take that tacky down. All right, some Parakeet Party. Okay. Oh, nice and green. Well, I don't want the whole piece. I don't want it quite that large. Just gonna take a Post-it note. Right there. And make sure to go just right there. Yes. Let's do one more over here, even though I'm covering that up. I don't care. While I've got this out, look at that. And look at our book. Isn't that fun? All right. That's Parakeet Party. I mean, these are very earthy colors together. Look at that. And I didn't even come into this planning those colors. It's just what worked out. Okay, so let me clean off. I do want to put the water. Let's go ahead and put the water on the back. I'm going to make a card out of that. Okay. Lost Lagoon was our winner for the water. And let me clean that up a little bit. Ooh. Got some. I use tissues all the time and wipes. And right now with my cold, they double as, yeah, for their actual purpose. Okay, let's season that up a little. Because I really want to duplicate the front, although I'm going to put this a little higher. Because we're not going to have her, Key is not going to be on the back. And then what I also do is I pick a line. I either open the book up and just grab a random line, or I look at the back and then I'm going to put that in on the bookmark. Now, because I have, see, on the horizon is more water. Thinking about using this just on the top because I'm not going to put the mountains on this side, although I could just, let's just draw in some mountains. Yeah, let's just draw in some mountains on the back. So I've got, oh, there went my door. Okay, so pretty peacock. don't. There it is. I put it back. Okay. So, because I might like the. So it's just, I'm looking at the book. So we're just going to go. So this is what I'm looking at right here. This line on this mountain. So I'm just going to start and pretend like Lachlan's not standing there and just go up. Okay. Now these mountains on here are pretty solid in the book, on the book cover. So, but now since this is art, we can add a little bit. I'm not going on the other side. That's okay, because I'm going to put the mountains on there. So we can add like little other areas to make it not like exactly, you know, kind of like where it's more mountainy. All right, now there's a little bit on this side, kind of swoops up, so I'm just gonna do that. This is why I was kind of thinking of just drawing in the mountains. Okay, now the jade I don't have. Let's see what color I do. Soft succulent. Let's use that for the background ones. So that's these here. So there's this one going here up first. And it just kind of goes up like that. And color that in. Sometimes like even the author's quotes or like the reviews, like this one, love can be a real lock mess. So that would be the words that I could put on there. Okay, and then the next one, it's a little lighter. I'm thinking about using cloud cover. Okay, and this one's just a little lighter, so it's got a little lip. Goes up and over. A little higher than it needs to be, but it's okay. So this is the cloud cover because it's even more in the shadows back there. Now, oh, as you see, blends go through the paper, but I'm not worrying about that because that's where the cardstock's going. All right, so we got some little more shadowing of our little mountains. Isn't that fun? All from the book. I just love it. This is the first time I've really felt like playing with stamps in a while because I've had a rough year so far. Could be worse, so I'm trying to count my blessings. Okay, now I wanted to put the green. Get that posted out again. Because I don't want the green too big. Now it might get hidden in this there, but that'll be okay. Just put that there and then a little bit right there. Okay, we got our green. So, because I already have a great little line right here, love can be a real lock mess. Let's see what color I want to put it in. I need, oh, hello, Flirty Flamingo, which I don't have Flirty Flamingo. I could use the blends, but let's see, Strawberry Slush. I think that's gonna be too bright. Let's see. Under Lock and Key. Yeah, it's a little too dark. A little too dark. It's not gonna really hurt it. But I can still try to use the blending marker. So let me get that Flirty Flamingo out, which I already put it away. This is becoming a longer video than I had planned, but you know, if you're still with me, thank you for watching this, and I really appreciate any comments you can give if you like this idea. If there's other things you think I should do, I'm open to suggestions. You know, if there's a book you have an idea that you'd like to make for a bookmark and you don't know how to start, you know, reach out to me. Yeah, I'm definitely going to use that one. But I'm not going to do the title of the book. We're just going to put Love Can Be a Real, a little bit difficult to write with the blender marker, but it works. Loch Mess. I certainly hope this book is as good as it sounds. And you know, what do you think this needs out here? Because I feel like it definitely needs some birds. So let's get out some birdies and put that in the back. Oh yes, see, definitely need some birds in there. And I think they're going to be the Secret C. Yeah, let's do Secret C. Make sure they're not upside down. And some up here. And look, that's not even the front of our bookmark. Is that not fun or what? I'm a dork. I just love playing with this stuff. All right. But I am going to do a little tidying up so I have more space, and I will be right back. Okay, that worked out, and I got some space here. I cleaned up. And I decided to scratch that last piece of cardstock I've cut out. So I'm just going to use these two pieces. And since that one is lighter in the background, I'm just going to draw that back there. So, and I'm making sure I use a blender pen because I don't want it to bleed to the back again to have that little thing. Although it looks like another shadow, so we could just accent that, but it's okay. And as I said, this is going to get covered up, but I think I am going to die cut one out or fussy cut some grass. I'm not sure, but I just love this side to begin with, so I'm okay with anything that goes up with that. Okay, so I'm going to put the, now if you notice, this one's got like a little cut because the way I cut it. So before I glue it down, I am going to take some pretty Peacock and just create another shadow down this line that happens to go, so it'll be a little darker because we do have some other mountain ranges. So I'm just gonna go that way too. There we go. You know, and this is our bookmark. It can look any way we want. That's the way you want it, any way you want it. Okay. Now we got some glue. You got to be careful with the bookmarks as I go over the edge. Because if you get it too sticky around the whole... Oh, wait. We need to put this one back there before. Come on, Lani. Think, think, think. You don't want it to be too goopy because it will stick to the pages. So make sure you're kind of careful with that, or make sure you clean it up and put some powder to where it won't cause stickiness for your bookmark, because the last thing you want is your bookmark to stick to your reading pages. So I just eyeballed that. I just put it wherever, and then this one's gonna go right there. So if you get any sticky on there that you notice, what you can do is take your embossing buddy and then you just tap it. It's like a powder that will stick to that glue, and it won't affect your stamps at all, or your image. So there's that. And now I'm gonna take that Peacock, I'm sorry, this is Soft Succulent, right? It's old, retired, yeah. And just gonna draw that last mountain range. So we have our other side. And then this blend won't go through to the other side. No. There's also the option of creating some more shadow if you wanted. Like maybe we'll put a little bit of shadow over here, just to kind of tie in that other color. It's kind of what my just kind of playing. Right. Now we have Key. We want to be able to tuck her in here. So I'm probably, let's cut her down a little bit. That's why I left extra on her, because I didn't know how far I wanted her to go down. So we're going to put her back here. Move her over a little bit more. That's pretty good. So go ahead and put some glue on her. Get her chance to shine. I have a feeling I'm getting too much glue on her. Okay. All right, Key, let's get you in here without gluing my card to itself. Probably should have put her down first, but it is a-okay. Because the nice thing, this is where baby wipes come into, to get the sticky off my hands. Okay, make sure. So if I feel that sticky, which I do feel a little tacky, I'm gonna get my embossing buddy out here and just kind of set it on there. And you could even take a tissue here. Make sure it's all off. Double check our sticky. Oh, that's perfect. No sticky whatsoever. Now I'm going to get my Soft Succulent back out and fill this little corner here of her skirt. Okay. So there's the front, or if you wanted it the back of the bookmark, you can, it's whatever you would want to do. But then we have the other side that matches the book. Now we need to get our ribbon out. So I'm going to find which ribbon. I really want to use Flirty Flamingo, but I can't remember where I put it. I didn't get it out. So I will be back with the ribbon and we'll finish this bookmark up. So I found this ribbon. This is Window Pane Check Ribbon. And it's like a green, and I decided, I kind of played with it a little first, but I'm going to blend it with the Flirty Flamingo, and we'll use that as our ribbon for the bookmark. So I'm just coloring, taking the blender just right over top of this. It's kind of a cheating way, and it's really nice to be able to use a white based ribbon and make it whatever color you want. And so now I want to make sure it dries well before I use it for my bookmark. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. Now it's kind of up to how long you want your ribbon to be on your bookmark. One of the things you got to be careful with is the ribbon can definitely be too thick and then you'll lose your spot. I learned that the hard way. So I'm just kind of guessing right now, but I'm going to give it, it's probably about 12 inches. So we'll measure this in just a moment. I just put my finger in the ink. So it's down here so you can't see, but it's off camera, so I apologize for that. But I'm just putting along my grid, And yeah, it's about 12 inches. So I'm going to cut off at 12 inches. I'll just cut at a little angle here. Set the ribbon aside. And then now we've got our Flirty Flamingo ribbon, if you didn't have. Unless you have some Flirty Flamingo or a different color that you'd want to put. So I'm just going to take a tissue and wipe along. Look, see? Something already came off. So just in case you don't want it to bleed on your bookmark. So it will probably take a little longer for it to completely dry. You could possibly even heat set it, but it will be fine. And you know what? If it actually colors the book, it'll give it some character. But I'm just running it through for a few times just to make sure most of that ink is completely absorbed and dyed into that ribbon. Okay. I feel like we need some birds up there too. Or our words. I could do under Loch and Key. But I kind of just like it that way. I really want to put that green down there, so we'll see. But it definitely needs some birdies. So let's get those birdies back out. This is from the On the Horizon Retired Stamp Set. Any birds will do, but these ones kind of look like geese or long necks, so that's kind of nice for this type of book. Back with the Secret Sea. I mean, she's got to be looking at something since she can't look at this adorable Lachlan guy. Make sure it's not upside down again. Sometimes I worry about this one. Let's see. Gosh, what does the stamp show? This direction. There we go. That's upright. I'll go ahead and stamp that right here. And put these guys. Ooh, how about right down here? And now we have our birdies. Okay, so I came with something up even better. Rather than stamping and then adhering it, I just got one of the dies out of the grass. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this and put that on the rocks. So getting out the mini cut and emboss. Now this is an unnecessary kind of step, but I'm just like I said before, I'm playing. Oh, can you see that? There you go. I am playing and just having a good time. So because this one might... Okay, they're making themselves known. So I'm going to put that on the other side to use all that little paper up. Excuse me. If I don't use all of it, I will... any scratch paper you have of a bright green that would match this book. Excuse me. And then that'll be scratch paper for later. All right. Let's see how this looks, because I have a feeling this will be better than the stamping part of it. Not bad. Not bad. It goes over that, so that works for me. All right, so just going to cut. So I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to pretend like that line of grass right there. There we go. Now, because the die cut cuts out such a nice beveled edge, what I do is I just take my nail and I kind of just scrape down to give it its own like beveled edge, so it kind of flushes with the die. And then we're gonna put that right on the top of the rock there. Again, we have to be careful with the glue because we don't want to glue our book together. This one is a lot more juicy than I thought it was gonna be. Okay. Now, the idea, too, is that even though this goes for a specific book, it can be used for any book. It's just a nice bookmark. Okay. Now, there's one more trick when it comes to making bookmarks, and I'll show you that. So I made a bookmark. This is an older one. This book's an older one for Fourth Wing. So that's the cover, and so I made this bookmark for it. Because this is a bigger book, I made it longer. And then I just used some cloud dies, some cloud stamps, and stamped it. I hand drew the dragon, but if you have a dragon stamp, you could use that. But I just looked at that, and if you notice on the cover, the clouds are above, and then the clouds kind of go below. So that's why I did it upside down over there. And then I just this was just a piece of foil paper that was from one of the paper pumpkin kits, but it was the closest thing I could get to shine. And so I just drew a line around there and just did little dots. Then for the back, I wrote a whole bunch of quotes. So like, a dragon without its rider is a tragedy. A rider without their dragon is dead. And that was taken off the back right there on the top. So then I just drew some pictures and signed my name, and just because I was having fun with it. But because this is the thing. So here's my bookmark. As you can tell, there's a lot of tape up here. My kid accidentally ripped off my ribbon, which the ribbon is purple because her name is Violet. And so there's a trick to avoid this. I did not do that on this one or I did, and my son was still stronger with it. So I will show you what you do for those types of situations to try to prevent your bookmarks from being ripped. So this bookmark here for the Fourth Wing, I've used it for all the other novels as well. So even though I could make more novels or more bookmarks to match it, I don't want to do that. So, and of course now this has had time to dry some more. But this is the trick, and it works better with transparent tape. I don't have any right now, so Scotch, like regular invisible tape, is going to be the one to do it. Now, the other thing I don't like is the perforated edge for my bookmark, but that's just a personal preference. So I cut off the beveled edge. But do you remember the old school reinforcements? Back when we were younger and we had notebooks that the holes would get ripped out of use, and you would use a reinforcement hole? That's where this came from. So I take the piece of tape, and I try not to put it too much. Just right around there, so it's kind of close. And then I fold it, but I don't want it to go all the way, so I'm gonna trim off. So this tape addition ends up giving it a little bit more strength for when you've got a lot of use with that ribbon. Now, bookmarks don't have to have a ribbon, so if you don't want to put a ribbon on it, you do not need to put a ribbon. So once you do that, then you get your punch back out. Now, I had to have for my scrapbooking, but this punch is perfect. Oh, I didn't use it on this one. I forgot. Somebody gave me a slotted punch, and so I've been using that for my bookmarks. So let me grab that out here. It just looks like this, but it's got that slot punch on it. So I'm going to go ahead and put that through. So once you see that, then you go ahead and pop it. Can't even tell that there was tape there, and now you've got some reinforced cardstock. And just get that tape out. That's why this take your pick tool works for lots of different things. So now we have a reinforced top to our bookmark. Then we're just going to take the ribbon. Now I put it through the front. I'm going to put it through there and then loop it through. Now it will come loose, but again, you don't want it to be too bulky because it'll make your book too thick and then you'll lose your spot. So I just kind of pull that up, and that will come loose. But if you wanted to tie a piece of twine, so like this one here, I just used a smaller piece, and then instead of making a knot, I just used the twine and put that there, and it holds it really, really well. This is just another random bookmark I made with scratches, or scrap paper. So, and you can cut this down if you want, but it'll stay pretty good. If you wanted to put the twine there, you can. I'm going to go ahead and trim the top. And there we go. And I will keep that piece for something else. So, there is our bookmark. Thank you so much for joining me. Get a piece of blank paper, see if we can see that better. So there's our book under Loch and Key. And here is our bookmark to coordinate along with our story. And then there's the back. Really, the back kind of looked way more like the cover than this one does, but it's still fun. You know, like I said, she might wear a hat in the book. We don't know. If you've read it already, then it kind of defeats the purpose, because then you don't need the bookmark. So that's why I take it off the cover and off of any of the words that I can have. So thank you so much again for watching. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this, and if you have any other ideas for books that you want some inspiration, let me know and I will see what I can do. And thank you again. Have a great day and keep on crafting on.